What's up, YouTube? It's KayHon, aka KayHon Puts You On, and today we are talking about Lil Yachty. Okay, Lil Yachty has some crazy takes about hip hop, but I don't think he was fully wrong, and I think everybody's like blowing him up. You know, everybody's hating on him. Everybody is like saying that he has the worst take in hip hop. I think his take is bad. I think he has a really bad take, and I'll put the clip right.
So their mindset is thinking like I hip hop, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? They favorite, they got Nas's greatest hits on standby as soon as they get in a car. So these type of fans, when you say some shit like hip hop is in a terrible place, they thinking I'm talking about from like, oh yeah, you're right, but you can't say it because you're not making the music we want either. You know what I'm saying? Like these are lyrical schmirical.
Yeah, you coming from more of like a statistical standpoint.
I'm coming from a standpoint of just creativity. Yeah. Like it's creatively just not at a height. It's not at a high. It's not at a high, and the height of the creativity in hip hop is low. Now, I'm not saying, I wasn't saying like, oh man, we need more like stand-up lyrics, because hip hop is, like I've always said, we should have subgenres just like any other genre, but we don't really. But we should, like, people don't understand, like, everything don't have to be boom bap, backpack.
I don't even think it should be separated. I think people should just understand. Like,
yeah, but
rap is not just one thing, one way. Like, oh,
yeah, but that's what subgenres are for.
Lyrical,
that's like saying all math should just be math. You have to have subgenres to categorize, because it's like it's too broad. Like it's like if it was just called record label instead of all the different record labels. I feel like if y'all feel this way, support it then. How we dropped to number fucking 4? You know what I'm saying? Or 5, or whatever genre we are. We dropped. We ain't top 3. Hip hop is not top 3. You know what I'm saying? It's a strong decline. And it's not to say that it won't get back, it won't get better. It's just the state of it right now. I love hip hop with all my heart. I'm a fucking rapper. You get it? But what I said is a fact,
actually support it instead of just commenting.
Exactly. Just fucking want to
actually support it. Like,
just want to talk shit about what I'm saying. But people love to get, my name is clickbait.
And overall, I think with that clip, you can kind of see where he's going in that direction of partially he's saying that the numbers in hip-hop are really bad, and because the numbers in hip-hop are really bad, his reasoning for that is that experimentation in hip-hop is lacking. We're not doing anything new. I think this take lacks any knowledge about hip-hop, to be honest. We see JPEG Mafia. We see somebody like Danny Brown. We see smaller artists, even like Zilla Kami, Sos Moolah. We just see Detroit style recently became really popular within the past couple years. Atlanta is doing really good with female rappers this year. Like, we're seeing hip-hop done differently, and I don't really understand where his conversation of like the lack of experimentation and hip-hop is lacking. Like, I don't see where that's stemming from, to be honest. I mean, we're seeing new forms of hip-hop every single day. I mean, there's probably even people that I'm forgetting about, like Scarlord, or like, yeah, there's probably so many people that are doing different stuff within hip-hop that I'm not even mentioning. I mean, Tia Corinne has this new fresh style that I really, really enjoy. So just to name a few rappers, like, they're doing something very different. I think even No Name is progressing with her sound. Like, I'm just trying to think of any rapper. Like, any rapper is doing something different. And I don't know necessarily what he means about experimentation, like something drastically different. I will say, like, out of any rapper, Lil Yachty has a foundation of his music to say that he's doing things differently. And until very recently has that worked. I think even if we're looking at his earlier music, Teenage Emotions, he was getting so much kickback. If we look at even like his Lil Boat project, like, that wasn't getting much love at the time. Like, that wasn't putting him even on the charts that much until his newer album, Let's Start Here, was he getting a lot of acknowledgement for his sound. I would say, as a rap fan, I really, really loved his rapping around that Detroit era when he really hopped on like a year or two ago. And so as a rap fan, I saw Lil Yachty progress, but I don't think the rest of the world really saw that until Let's Start Here came out. And that's where he started incorporating like rock and punk and pop kind of sounds into his music. I would say he veered less away from rap. And to me, it's very interesting that his conversation has become numbers. He doesn't give me like a numbers type of vibe, to be honest. Like, yeah, hip hop is like number 4 or number 3 on like sales this year, maybe like the half of last year. But I think if you're going to bring in numbers in this regard, you have to think about who's been dropping in all of those genres. The heavy hitters of pop and country and rock have really been dropping, and Rap is not so much. Like, we haven't really seen that in terms of like the heavy hitters. Like, for example, like Taylor Swift dropped this year. Who was comparable to Taylor Swift in that regard? Like, I think in order to compare to Taylor Swift numbers, you need Kendrick and Drake to drop at the same time. We did have Drake drop. That was huge. Who else dropped? I mean, we didn't even have like JID drop. We didn't have J. Cole hasn't dropped yet. Yeah, a lot of our heavy hitters aren't dropping, man. We didn't have like Childish Gambino dropping or like Lil Yachty dropped, but his was arguably not even a rap album. I don't think Lil Uzi dropped this year, except for like 1 or 2 songs maybe. Did he drop a project this year? I'm not sure. He might have. And I'm mistaking him for somebody else, but I don't think our heavy hitters are really dropping like that. I mean, even in like pop, for example, Olivia Rodrigo dropped, Taylor Swift dropped. That's instantly gonna put them all the way up. Like, the up and coming is dropping and the heavy hitter is dropping. I think for country we had Morgan Wallen drop, and Luke Combs I think dropped. Like, those genres are seeing their heavy hitters drop. Like, I don't understand why we're having this comparison that's not comparable. And rap has been the forefront, but that's because rap was having the heavy hitters drop like every other year. So then you would see like Kendrick dropping like 2016, 2018, whatever, 2020, whenever he dropped, maybe 2021. And J. Cole was also dropping, and Drake was also dropping. So you were having those people. And those, I'm thinking the big 3 right now, but I know there's other rappers who have dropped. JID was dropping. Ski Mask was dropping. We had XXX for a while, rest in peace, till 2018. So we had a lot of movement around that time. We even had 21 Savage. We even had Lil Uzi Vert. Just hasn't had its main people really drop since then, right? Like, not a lot of people have been dropping. And I think rap is in this kind of evolutionary era currently where it's looking for its new sound. It's looking for its new people to blossom up. And all genres have this. I mean, I would say pop wasn't lacking when rap was number 1. Pop was still having a lot of people drop. It didn't feel like pop went away. But maybe the heavy hitters just didn't drop. Or maybe like the biggest artists didn't drop in pop and country those years. And that's why rap was number 1, and rap was just popping. It was very mainstream at that time. Now we're seeing rap kind of in this evolutionary phase. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay if rap takes a step back while we evolve. I'm okay with that. I don't think Lil Yachty is. And look, a lot of people are saying, like, Lil Yachty has no place to talk. Like, what good music has he made? He's made good music. We're not going to sit here and lie on Lil Yachty, okay? Lil Yachty has made great music. He's made amazing music. And I'm not going to discredit Lil Yachty because he had a bad take on hip-hop. And I think it's coming from a good place. I think he wants to see hip-hop improve, which is why he has this take. So I'm not going to sit here and diss Lil Yachty. Let's not do all that, all right? Let's not do all that on Lil Yachty. I do think his take was lacking in some regards. I do understand kind of where his thought processes were in terms of like wanting to see hip-hop go number 1. And I do think he had a very interesting statement, which I didn't really contemplate, because I'm an anti-numbers type of guy, just naturally. Like, I care more about the art and creativity, but there is a sense that a lack of sales will hinder creativity in some regard. You may ask, what regard is that? And I think label funding.
And Billboard, which is the number 1 genre. Even record labels have pulled back on funding from hip hop, as far as like what contracts are looking like and what budgets are being put into rapper artists, hip hop artists. It's just all been scaled back on funding. It's facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, the facts is that people aren't supporting hip hop like they once did. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a decline in the content.
Ebro talked about labels not wanting to put so much towards rap because it's lacking in numbers. And I never really thought about that, to be honest. I didn't consider that as a factor. But that is very important because labels do fund a lot of rappers. It funds a lot of rap. It funds a lot of music in general. And obviously they are gravitating towards what's going to make them the most money. So they're not going to put more money towards rap, which means that artists won't have as much money to work with or as much recognition because they don't have this money to fund their marketing or fund their music videos. So the art does get hindered there. And that's an important thing that I didn't consider. And I don't think a lot of people have been talking about when they're talking about Lil Yachty's take on hip-hop and things like that. I think it is important to note that if there's a lower sales in hip-hop, there are going to be less people getting funded. But I still think numbers should not be your main priority. I'm still very much towards art being at the forefront of whatever you're creating rather than the numbers, because I think numbers can water down, it can dilute a lot of what you're making if that's your focus. At least from what I've seen in music, I mean, even seeing artists like sell out, you can always tell when they sell out because it's so different from what they were making before because it's coming from a very different place. And not saying that you can't do that or you don't have the right to do that. Like, do what makes you happy, right? Like, if money makes you happy, get your money. All right, I'm not gonna hate on you at all. Like, I'm not gonna hate at all. Yeah, I think Lil Yachty has a point in terms of like the label not funding as much, and I think that is very important, very crucial when new artists are up and coming. And I'm very curious to see on kind of where rap goes. I think next year we're having a lot of people tease, a lot of creatives tease what they're gonna drop. Playboy Cardi, I think, recently teased. Childish Gambino has been teasing new music. Not to say that necessarily will be rap, but rappers going in these different lanes, I think is very interesting. I think it's also important to note, just real quick, is that even if rap isn't number one, we're seeing the influence of rap in all of the number one genres. Let that be Morgan Wallen has a Lil Durk feature. Like, we're seeing it. Taylor Swift has a whole rap album. Like, we're still seeing it. All right, so rap isn't taking a step back. Let's calm down. But that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. As always, man, I love you guys and appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for always tuning in. Thank you for always supporting the boy. And please comment what you think. I don't think I'm necessarily right and wrong. Like, this isn't like a right and wrong type of conversation. Lil Yachty, I think, has some wrong opinions in my opinion, but I think he's also right in some aspects. So let me know what you guys think down below. As always, I'm KayHon, aka KayHon Puts You On, and I just talk about music. So if you like the content, hit me to like and subscribe. Peace out and be smooth. Check out my other platforms. I love y'all.
what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like it's fucking these old folks. So their mindset is thinking like I hip hop da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? They favorite, they got Nas's greatest hits on standby as soon as they get in a car. So these type of fans, when you say some shit like hip hop is in a terrible place, they thinking I'm talking about from like, oh yeah, you right. But you can't say it because you not making the music we want either. You know what I'm saying? Like these are lyrical schmirical.
Yeah, you coming from more of like a statistical standpoint.
I'm coming from a standpoint of just creativity. Like it's creatively just not at a height. It's not at a high. It's not at a high, and the height of the creativity in hip hop is low. Now, I'm not saying, I wasn't saying like, oh man, we need more like stand up lyrics, because hip hop is, like I've always said, we should have subgenres just like any other genre, but we don't really. But we should, like, people don't understand, like, everything don't have to be boom bap, backpack.
I don't even think it should be separated. I think people should just understand. Like,
yeah, but
rap is not just one thing, one way. Like, oh,
yeah, but that's what subgenres are for.
Lyrical,
that's like saying all math should just be math. You have to have subgenres to categorize, because it's too broad. Like it's like if it was just called record label instead of all the different record labels. You know what I'm saying? But people are so stubborn, and hip hop is so new that people don't, like, it's just like we aren't to a place where people can break it down. Some people can, but like a lot of people have a hard time breaking down rap and accepting there being different styles of rap and not just being one lane hip hop, whatever the case.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to say most of the world, but a good proportion of the world is not even that like open minded to try to.
Absolutely not. But you gotta think about it. This whole new era of rap, it's fairly still new. I've been doing music 7 years. Or 6 years or 7 years, almost 8 years. I lost count. But before then, rap was what it is. It was always street. We changed rap. This rap change is so new. Still, I'm the beginning of it. My class is the beginning of that switch, but it's like, so it's still fairly new for people.
Gangsta Brazil.
That one I gained on that boy, not my friend. I hang with my gang, this ain't gain to feel all of my pain. When I was struggling through the rain, when I had no guard with no ice, wasn't no food but rice. All of these bitches, they want me, but they get one night. Fuck them.
But I just think it was.
People will ever come around?
I think we're getting there. I think we're a lot better than we were 7 years ago, when it was just like, oh hell no, this mama rap, SoundCloud rap, these guys suck. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't have no stats yet. Now it's a different conversation. If y'all feel this way, support it then. How we dropped to number fucking 4? You know what I'm saying? Or 5, or whatever genre we are. We dropped. We ain't top 3. Hip hop is not top 3. You know what I'm saying? It's a strong decline. And it's not to say that it won't get back, it won't get better. It's just the state of it right now. I love hip hop with all my heart. I'm a fucking rapper. You get it? But what I said is a fact.
Yeah, actually support it instead of just commenting.
Exactly. Just fucking want to
actually support it. Like,
just want to talk shit about what I'm saying. But people love to get, my name is clickbait. Can we go through? Let's go through some of the comments. Happen, and then we can't speak on until we come back. I've wanted to talk about this hip hop thing. Not that bad, but when it happened, I really didn't want to address it, and I just was like, whatever. I'll address it when our podcast comes. Between me saying and what it is I said hip hop is in a terrible place, and this comment came from a interview that I did with Tierra Whack for Rolling Stones. And I said, hip-hop is in a terrible place. And it took the internet in a frenzy, right? And this is the crazy thing. Numbers. All right, first off, hip-hop was the number one leading genre for 10 plus years. I don't know exact year, but 10 plus years. Number one, shitting on every other genre. Up until recently, about a year ago, or two, a year or two ago, and it fell in the rankings of being number one.
What's number one now?
I believe it's Latin music. It's either Latin music or no, I think it's Latin music or country. It's between country music and Latin music. I can't remember.
Saying number one, saying like that's the genre that generates the most money.
Streams. revenue streams. Yeah, it was number one. Like in Billboard, which was the number one genre. Even record labels have pulled back on funding from hip hop, as far as like what contracts are looking like and what budgets are being put into rapper artists, hip hop artists. It's just all been scaled back on funding. It's facts. You know what I'm saying? Like the facts is that people aren't supporting hip hop like they once did. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a decline in the content. Now, I think something that I thought was funny was people be like, oh, like what happened is I dropped this snippet before Give Me the Light.
I'm the back of the bin, I'm in the back with twins. I put diamonds in my mouth when I grin. And I don't give that pussy, take it on my chin.
After that, and then people was like, oh, but isn't he the one that said that hip hop is in a terrible place, or that I think I said everything sounds the same, or some shit like that, whatever. And people was like, oh, here's the guy that said that. He was like the guy that made Poland, because how can you say that you made Poland? But it's like, bro, you've never heard a rap song like Poland, bro. Like there's no song that sounds like Poland, ever. When Poland first came out, it was like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying?
I think people just go emotional first.
That, and I know that the people that even read blogs and sit are the people who are on a certain side of hip hop. You know, all these kids, they're not sitting on like fucking Nah Right and fucking Two Dope Boys like, oh man, hip hop's in a terrible place. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like it's fucking these old folks. So their mindset is thinking